Letters on a Black Background say Thriving with Vision Loss with special guest J.B. Lawrence. This is a Zoom-style interview with each speaker filling the frame when they talk. The first speaker, Michelle, is a woman with shoulder-length brown hair and bangs, wearing a purple shirt and headband. She's seated in a room with a striped tan and brown paneled wall behind her. A dark chair is visible on either side. A second speaker, JB, is a man wearing a dark baseball cap and dark gray t-shirt. He has a beard mustache with light gray and brown tones and brown hair visible beneath his cap. He is seated in a room with cream-colored walls and track lighting visible overhead. Hey everybody, and welcome to eleVIVO's Thriving with Vision Loss. Today I get to talk to J.B. Lawrence. He's living in Utah, and he actually has done more without training than I think anybody I've talked to. He is all that in a bag of chips. I've had a ball talking to him, so I'm going to let him tell his story. So, first off, how'd you lose your vision, JB, and how was it to navigate that stuff as an adult?
Yeah, so it was crazy. I drove myself to work one day. It was a couple of days before Christmas, and I remember just sitting at my desk and my vision just like went blurry. And I was like, what in the hell is happening? And my fiance at the time, she came in to drop off Christmas presents because we just hid the Christmas presents there because it was easy. And I'm telling her, hey, I can't see, like my vision's blurry. So we're freaking out. Naturally, we end up at like a local urgent care, and they're thinking I'm having a stroke. And so
Ooh.
they end up referring me. They ask me, like, hey, we think you need to go to the ER. Obviously, something's going on. We don't really know what, but let's get a jump on this, whatever. So they asked me which hospital like we preferred to go to. So we just told them, the what we thought was the best one that our insurance covered. And they ended up calling out to that hospital, like the ER department, to let them know we were on our way. And I remember when I got there, I've never like had to go to an ER that I can remember at least. And so when I get there, I'm expecting like to have to wait a long time because it's an ER. And I get there, tell them my name. They're like, "Oh, okay, you came from Bountiful, right?" And it's like, "Yeah." They're like, "Okay." And they went and grabbed a wheelchair and just wheeled me right back.
Wow.
I was like,
I've
"What?"
never had that happen to me
I
before.
know, it was crazy. And I'm like, "What the heck?" And my Liz, she was like, "Oh, they think you're having a stroke, I bet." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that makes more sense." So
Merry
gift,
Christmas.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, but I felt fine. Like nothing like fell off. I wasn't like slurring my words. Like, I mean, I've never had a stroke. I don't know the exact
Mhm.
symptoms, just like, what you hear. But so they get me back. They're like doing all these checks and stuff, and everything was fine. And they ended up, while in the ER, doing ultrasounds on my eyes, which that was pretty crazy because that
Ooh.
warm like jelly on an ultrasound wand on your eyeball is like a trip. And
Oh my.
I know I always joke that it's like, well, it's good news that I guess my eyes aren't pregnant or whatever, but anyway. So they're looking and they can see that I have acute chronic retinal tears like in my eyes, like my retinas
Mhm.
were essentially hemorrhaging.
Oh
I'm
my.
like, yeah, there's not. They're like, we don't really know what's going on exactly. We're gonna refer you to a retina specialist, and you can follow up with them and see. But all your vitals are fine, or like your vitals are good. Meanwhile, in my head, I'm freaking out, and it's like, I'm at an ER. I'm like blind, like everything's blurry. I don't know what's going on, and they don't have an answer. So I was just like, whatever, we'll just roll with it. And then of course it's the holiday season, and like New Year's is only a few days away, so they refer me to a retina specialist, get to that appointment, and my retina specialist, like, he's asking me, well, first, like, they do all their like eye exams and stuff and like, confirm like, oh yeah, like there's something going on. And they ended up giving me this shot that what it did was any light source like in my vision, it turned it like red, like a red hue.
Oh
And
my.
so it was like a nightmare, like a horror movie, because like
Oh
I'm
my
looking
God.
around the room and any light source is just like red. And it was like, this is so crazy. Also, he looks at my eyes and he's asking me, he's like, are you diabetic? And I'm like, no, I don't think so. I've never had symptoms or anything like that. And he's like, well, what I see like in your eyes and what your retinas are doing is what I see in like diabetic patients that are usually older and haven't, maintained their diabetes, or they're just older and it's just like, slowly gotten worse. And it's like to that point, but yours are like that. And I'm like, what the heck? So ordered some labs. Turns out um, my A1C was, it was crazy high. I don't remember the number. I think it was like 13, which
Whoa.
is really, really high. So
Yeah.
yeah. And then
Boom.
my glucose was, it was like 600 something, if I remember right. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So then having to navigate, getting all of that under control.
Yeah.
So that was like a whole whirlwind of things. And then, come to find out, so they at first thought that maybe I was like a type 1 and type 2 mix called, I think they called it LADA, if I remember right. But since then, like it's like we've just confirmed that it's like type 1. It just was like onset like later in life or whatever, which I didn't realize was a thing. And so got that all like under control and managed, all in the meantime of planning a wedding and like all that stuff. And we didn't want to do surgery on my eyes to do what's called a vitrectomy and a membranectomy, where they go in and they remove the membrane on the retina to like clear away any of those vessels that like growth basically.
Mm-hmm.
And they go in with the laser and cauterize any of those like blood vessels that are bleeding, because that's what diabetic retinopathy is. It's just like blood vessels grow on the retina, and once it gets too bad, they'll just cover your retina, and then that's how you can go to like totally blind essentially. So but I had to get my diabetes under control, which I did. Obviously that was actually like an easier thing to do, but
But doing it all when you're losing your vision and diabetes,
yeah, and
that's a
still
lot.
working full time,
Ew.
like all the stuff.
Yeah.
So
You had your plate very full.
oh yes, it was crazy. And I didn't even really have like a lot of time for myself to really even like think in all of it. Like obviously it was really scary and it was really hard moments, like absolutely. But I'm the type of person that is just like, I gotta just keep rolling with it. Because if I don't and I sink in it too much, it's just gonna eat at me and whatever. And I just like buckled down and just like kept working, kept doing the thing.
And then do
And
the next right thing.
yeah, exactly. So, but we wanted to schedule my eye surgeries for after we got married, just because we were planning like a honeymoon. So we didn't, my retina specialist, he's like, well, where you have still like, okay, like where you can still see some things, like, let's wait until after like your wedding and your honeymoon to do the surgeries, because like your vision after surgery could still get like a little bit worse. And I was like, oh, okay, that sounds good. And then it's easier to travel without having to worry about like a gas bubble in my eye from doing the surgeries and all that stuff. So
where'd you get to go for your honeymoon?
we went to Hawaii. We went to Kauai.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. And it was cool because like I could still see some like obviously nothing was like great detail or anything like that, but just like the whole vibe of it and stuff. So I could still see like when we were going through, I remember there was this one road leading down to the resort we were going to stay at on I think it was Poipu Beach, if I remember right. And we're driving down this road, and it's so cool because it was almost like a tunnel of trees. And it was just like a 2-lane highway cutting through these trees, and it just like very reminiscent of Jurassic Park.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so I remember like we rented a Jeep Wrangler. Excuse me, we rented a Jeep Wrangler, and I remember playing like the Jurassic Park theme song and just like holding my phone up like right in front of my face, recording like the trees like overhanging and stuff. It was just like really cool, but beautiful place if you ever get a chance to go. So
I've never been. That's on my bucket list.
Yeah, blind or not, like the culture there, like all the sights, the sounds, like the smells, like everything was so incredible. It was so awesome.
Yeah.
But so
amazing.
yeah, we got back from that, had the surgeries done, which those surgeries are crazy because they essentially you're awake like while they're doing the surgery. So I remember like the anesthesiologist, comes over like while I'm like, laying in the hospital bed, like, being prepped or whatever, like while they're prepping the room. And he's like, all right, yeah, you're just gonna take a nap and then wake up, in there, just so like don't be freaked out or anything. I'm like, yeah, okay. And then literally, like, that's the last thing I remember. And then I just remember waking up and I'm literally having like a conversation with my doctor and like the nurses and like, well, they're just working on my eye. And I'm like, this is a trip. Like, this is so crazy. I can hear like every time like the laser would like cauterize a one of those blood vessels, wherever, you can just hear it like and like you can't see anything.
Yeah.
So all I could see was it was like just like a dark shade of red, basically, like just from a light source. And I could see like just like this black, I mean, everything was blurry too. Like, I don't know how they do it where you can't see. It's wild to me, but I can just see this like black thing like coming in across my vision a little bit. And like, then I hear it buzz and I'm like, this is so crazy. And I'm sitting here talking to him about like, I think that's first surgery. I remember talking to him about like the best donut shop in the area and stuff. Just
well,
like,
that's important stuff. The most important thing in the world is the best donut shop.
Hey, there's a lot of them too. So, but it's just like so interesting that I can be having this crazy surgery on my eye, which like to most people would be like, everyone is like, don't touch my eyes, but I'm having this full on conversation with my doctor and his team. Like, it's just like normal procedure, which I mean, which was good because then it was like took a lot of the anxiety away because like it was just like just a casual, like good feeling, it wasn't like too stressful. Like none of them are concerned. They're just like, it's like you're hanging out with like a bunch of friends and everyone's just, chilling and chatting. But one person in the room just happens to be having surgery on their eyeballs. So,
and one person is pointing a laser in your eyeballs.
Yeah, exactly.
Small details.
Yeah. So surgery went well, like, and then the after of it was crazy because you have to stay like face down for so long. So sleeping was like a pain in the ass, like trying to make sure my face is like pointed down pretty much all times. I remember watching, oh my gosh, Lord of the Rings, like so many times because I've seen those movies so many times. I know them like the back of my hand. So I could just watch them with my head down and not have to see what's going on because I already know what's going on based on how it sounds.
Okay, so, favorite character?
Favorite character? Oh man, I'm an Aragorn guy.
I like Aragorn too.
Yeah,
I'm kind of a hobbit though.
Yeah.
I identify as a hobbit. I really do. But yeah, I like Aragorn. I'm a hobbit in real life. Well, I like my, breakfast 11Zs.
11Zs, yeah. Well, and they're always just so happy, So I think I probably relate more with a hobbit, but
Aragorn's cool.
Aragorn's just like the dude that just handles the business, so.
Although Bilbo's a little annoying and Frodo's even more annoying.
Yeah.
I'm more like a Took.
Just whiny. Yeah, Took would be good. Even Sam, he's awesome because I think is the champion of the whole storyline because man, he doesn't get the credit that I think he should get, honestly. So
he's a sensible one.
Yeah, he's sensible, but he is one that just like comes in clutch, like when he needs. He's like the R2-D2 of the Lord of the Rings franchise.
Exactly.
Like Star Wars wouldn't be Star Wars without R2-D2 coming in clutch all the time. So
see, guys, this is why JB and I get along.
We can relate on nerd stuff. So
we're both nerds. It's all good.
Yeah, in fact, Liz and I we got married on May 4th. So
wow.
Yeah,
May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, exactly. So
what was it like with, getting married, through this vision loss thing? And then did you have kids or how did that
just
go?
Two stepdaughters that are absolutely awesome. Having them come into my life was like super great. They're really good, smart kids. Love them to death. Being blind, like you have to just figure things out differently. You can't like take them to go do something fun. You got to figure it out by other means, or go with other people or whatever to make sure rides get there and stuff. But
how old were they when you guys got married?
Oh man, let's see. Zoe was 14, almost 14, and then my other daughter Ava was, holy cow, she would have been 8. I think that's
That's
right.
like
Yeah,
just at
8.
the age to mess with the parents.
Oh yeah. And that definitely happened, which, it's allowed. So kept me on my toes, which was good. It was also good because it took a lot of having to focus on the fact that I am blind, like out of the picture. Because where I was still working full time and doing all this stuff is like, I might have lost my vision, but like the grind never stops really. Like, even now, like being on disability, it's like I probably am more busy during the day, like day and night, like as a whole now than I was when I was still working full time, So just with day-to-day stuff like in the house, whether it's watching dogs, making dinner, like, back like just doing random stuff. So
and things just tend to take a little longer when you're visually impaired too.
yeah, and that's a lot of it too, that a lot of people don't they don't really talk about. And even in like the sighted community, I think it's unfortunate that a lot of people in the sighted community, and not everyone obviously, but they think that people who have like a visual impairment to any degree are just like incapable of doing things, and it's just not true. Like,
oh God, no, it's
like
not.
a lot of the people I've met now in the blind community, were very determined, like as people, like because one, we're automatically having to work with like a chip on our shoulder because people think we're incapable of doing a task, but it's like, no, we're not incapable of doing it. It's just we take more time to do it. But in taking more time to do it, the chance of us messing it up are a lot smaller because we know if it messes up, it doubles the work, which quadruples for us because it does take more time to figure it out. But I mean, like me personally, like the best way for me to learn something is to figure it out. If someone gives me a guideline, be like, yeah, you got to do this. And if I can feel it, I'll figure it out. It'll take me longer to do it, but like I'll just figure it out because I have to.
Yeah. Did you have to go through formal training? Did you go through formal training right after your vision loss?
No, none of that. So I
No?
was I was still working full time.
What were you doing?
And then my wife was giving me rides to work or home from work, and if she couldn't, I would get rides from coworkers either to or from work. Just would depend. Excuse me. What was going on or whatever. But I honestly didn't even really have time to get any of the formal training. I was a really big workaholic. It's like I don't
I don't know
regret
anybody
many.
like that.
Yeah, it's like I don't regret many things in life, but like my word of advice to anybody that works too much, take time for yourself. Like, because at the end of the day, like, I mean, the majority of people, if you work for, a big company or whatever, it take time off because you don't realize what you're missing until like time has already passed and you can never get time back. So it's like me looking back, like I lost out on so many things like in my head that I lost out on because I kept telling myself, no, I gotta work, I gotta work, I gotta work. And at the end of the day, you can get let go the next day and you're in no better of a situation, but then also you've lost that time with whatever was going on with like your family or friends or whatever that is. So take time off work. Like the work life balance is a huge thing, and like being in the thick of being a workaholic, you don't realize it in the moment. Like hindsight is 2020, and I tell everyone I know that now, like take time off. If you're thinking about doing it, just take the time off, because in the end of the day, like the big grand scheme of things, it's not going to matter. Like it just won't. So like to the company.
I'm actually queen workaholic. And
Yeah,
when I was a riding instructor, it was, 50 to 70 hours a week. And I missed
yeah,
out on so much. And now working with eleVIVO, I have a much more flexible schedule. So I'm actually
yeah,
being able to do more. It doesn't mean I'm not still a workaholic, but I can move my time around to make it so that I can
yeah.
actually do things.
Exactly. As long as you can like, as long as you're in a place to be able to like move it around, excuse me, like I know, for example, like if you're a small business owner, like I know a lot of people in the blind community are massage therapists, and it's a really good like skill set to have as like a blind person, because it's all about feel really. And if you can do that in like your own small business and create your own schedule, you can grind as much as you want or have to, but then you can still take the time off you want because it's like your thing, you know. But in a corporate world, it's like it's so sad to see people just work so much. And like just me, for example, I worked for 17 years at the company and never, like, rarely took time off. And then just, you know, one day, 3 days before my kidney transplant, my boss comes to me and tells me, hey, I can't afford to pay you anymore, so I got to let you go. And it's like, what? Like, just like total shock factor. It's like, I mean, it's, you can get a vibe, like, kind of know what the writing's on the wall, like, you know, leading up to it for the last couple of months beforehand. But then, like, for it to really, like, actually happen in the way it happens, and it's like that can literally happen to anybody. So
how did that fit? How did your kidney issues fit in with your blindness? Did it, like, timeline wise?
so so I actually went into kidney failure because of my diabetes as well. So I had diabetic nephropathy, and I didn't find that out until it was in 2022 when I found out. And like my blood pressure started going up, like just all these little signs. So they referred me to the kidney clinic here. And so went, met with them, and, you know, they check all the labs and that kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, like your kidneys are failing. I don't remember the percentages because like I had so many things going on in my life at the time. But then they wanted to confirm what it was, wanted to make sure it wasn't just like lupus or some other kind of kidney disease going on. So they ended up doing they took a sample from my kidney and confirmed that it was diabetic nephropathy. And so, but it was crazy because when I went on dialysis, I did in-home dialysis so I could, you know, still work full time because it's just how I am. And it was funny because the doctor, like the nephrologist that was in the clinic that day, they were telling him like, hey, you know, we need to start home dialysis with him because his kidney function is dropping fast enough that the fistula isn't going to be healed in time to be able to start using it for him to go on dialysis. And I remember the nephrologist coming in and he was just like, how do you think you can run a dialysis machine being like blind, like as blind as you are? And I just remember looking at him in the moment and being like, dude, are you serious? Like, and I'm like, I'll figure it out. And I remember he drew on a piece of paper and held it up like to me. And he's like, can you see this? And I'm like, no. I didn't even look at the paper. I just looked at him and said, no. And he's like, how, like, I don't understand how, like, you'll be able to do it. And I was like, well, you never know until, like, you just, like, until I do it. So, and he actually ended up being my main nephrologist, like, during the whole, like, process leading up to my transplant. And he, like, to this day has been one of my favorite doctors because he's a very good personality where he doesn't sugarcoat things. And, like, I appreciate that. I like not being sugar coated. I don't like to sugarcoat. I've started doing that more with daughters. You kind of have to learn how to do that. So, but yeah, and he ended up being like so cool. And then I haven't had to see him obviously since I got my transplant. So, cause he was on the like dialysis side of all this stuff. But yeah, doing all that while being blind, like as blind as I am it was definitely a learning curve. And the first handful of times, like I had Liz helping me like do all the buttons, figure out like the layout of the machine. Like I'm using my phone with the built-in magnifier, like zooming it in really close, like because you have to on the machine put in all the different numbers of like your weight and what type of bags you're using, you know, making sure I'm grabbing the correct bag, like loading the cassette, like all of this stuff. And it just one of those things that like it took me so long, like the first handful of times, but it got to where I could just do it so fast that I knew where all the buttons were. I knew the layout. I had organized all the boxes with the bags in it to which colors were which, and like it set everything up so I could just do it as fast as possible. And that's like how you have to do things as someone who's, you know, legally blind. You just figure out your routine.
Yeah.
And once you start doing it, it becomes a process that you can do just as easily as anybody else, really. So,
You have to be resourceful.
yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. You
And
have to
that's
think on your feet and just go with it. So,
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
but
I mean, you know, it's if you're going to be able to be an independent person, you just need to kind of be an independent person and figure it out as you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Fly,
And
was it build the plane while you fly it?
yeah, right. Well, and the thing is like it's never like just talking about independence, it's never too late to start finding that independence. Like whatever your journey looks like, whatever your blindness journey looks like, whatever your path you're on right now, it's never too late to start looking for your independence. And like the easiest way for you to start doing that, because then it's like a snowball effect where you can do one thing that's small and that gives you like the confidence to do the next thing, and it just leads up to more and more wins, which, you know, correlates over
Yeah.
to being more independent and
Yeah, and
getting
that's
more
kind of what we're
confident
doing
doing
with the
that.
eleVIVO platform is we give people information, all these little buckets. So you can
Yeah.
pick, okay, I need to know about this today. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
You know,
Awesome.
and okay, now I have a little bit of success with that. Well, let's try this. And
Yeah.
let's try this. And building one success upon another,
Yeah.
you know, all those little steps that, you know, can make it better for people.
Yeah.
Because we really would like to make it so that people don't have to go through what you went through with no resources there, you
Yeah.
know, nothing. We want to have it
Yeah.
so that people can actually figure things out and work along at their own pace.
Yeah. Well, and that's a thing too, is I didn't even know like resource like what kind of resources were available to any degree until like I had the time to really look at them. Because
Yeah.
where I was working full time, it was like, because so within the first, I think, year of losing my eyesight, my retina specialist had referred me to the like DSBV services, which is the visual and blind whatever, like institute, whatever it's called. And I went and toured it and like did all this stuff. And um I in my head I was like, I'm not gonna have time to do this. Like I'm working full time. Like I don't think I can fit this in right now. And it just, you know, was a lot more on top of what I was already like
Yeah.
dealing with. Excuse me.
Can you think of any ways that it could have been made easier for you being in that situation and maybe an easier way to access those services or a
Um
different way to access them?
so I don't know. I think honestly a lot of it would probably have depended on like the job you're in. Like so for me, where I was working, I was there all the time because the owner wasn't. He just wasn't there. It's like so it fell on the guys that were there to really just handle like all the day-to-day stuff. And I'm the type of person that I don't want to like let other people down.
Yeah.
So by me not being there, I took on that responsibility for myself to be like, look, if you know, if I'm not gonna be there, I don't know how it's gonna run if there's no one else there that can do all the things that I was doing and getting people going, even if it's just like the camaraderie. Like people need someone that's gonna be there for them, even if it's like, even if I can't fix the solution, like I'll be there and stand next to you and help you with it. But
Yeah.
I can't do it, but I'll make sure it gets done because I'll encourage you to do it, you know, and people
Yeah.
just need that. And so I took it upon myself when the owner wasn't around to do that. And in my head, it's like, I don't have time to go do all this training, especially some of the training with stuff I could still do at work to some capacity. Like I knew I worked in the place where I worked for so long. I didn't need any kind of training like how to get around because it was all like in my I call it my mental map. Like I had a mental map of the place and knew where all the light switches were. I was always walking around the place, knew what stuff was where. If someone was like looking for something, they'd always be like, "Oh, just go ask JB. He probably knows where it is." And it's like, it's funny because I'm the blind guy. It's like,
yeah, I'm that person too.
yeah, it's like, hey, do you
When
know
I
where
was
this is?
teaching
And it's like,
riding, it was like that.
yeah. And so it's like, but now looking back, I wish I would have done it sooner, but I'm glad that I'm doing all that stuff now, and finding those resources. And a big part of it, honestly, is community too. Like finding community that can relate to you. That's been a huge thing for me, and a lot of the reason I started like really starting posting stuff on social media. Like I'm not one to like generally care about how many followers or how many likes I have. For me, it's just been really good to talk about my journey and having people reach out to me privately or even commenting or whatever, but mostly privately saying like, hey, this is awesome. Like you talking about this is like encouraging me to go do X, like whatever it is I was talking about in the video. And it's like, awesome. Like go do it. Go shoot your shot. Go do it. Like we're very capable. And if you have the determination to want to do it, like go do that thing that you're wanting to do. So
yeah, and that's why we're doing these interviews
yeah,
because I'm trying to touch on people, a whole range of people so that people out there can see, oh, I'm like him. That's
yeah,
my journey. Yeah, I
yeah,
get that. And it
yeah,
can resonate with people and give
yep,
them hope to do the next right thing,
yeah.
to move forward.
Well, and I like one thing I like to tell people and say is like, we all wear shoes. Everybody, you don't know someone's shoes till you walk in them, but everybody's shoes wear differently. We can all wear a pair of Vans. We can all wear a pair of Jordans. We can all wear a pair of whatever, but mine are going to look very different than somebody else's. They might be the same, like in a similar way. Like if two people were dealing with blindness, we can relate on a lot of things, but like where I have probably a lot more confidence than some other people, I realize that. So it's like trying to convey that in like a social media post and not come across as looking, like someone who's arrogant or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like, because there are people that they're just not ready to do that stuff yet. And that's, they'll get there, it's just like a matter of going through the process. And
We
there's so
all
many,
have different paths.
yeah, there's just so many different paths, and like depending where you're at in your journey or what other things are going on in your life, like the last handful of years of my life have been crazy. So it's like there's been definitely dark moments in my life the last handful of years, but it's like at the end of the day, like you're the only one that can pull yourself out of the like dumpster fire that you think you're in when it might not even really be that bad. It's just like when so much is weighing on you, it's just a matter of like looking at the whole situation and realizing like things could be worse. You just have to look for like the silver lining or whatever it is that you want to keep going for. Whether it's like, I don't know, if you have a kid or say a dog or something that you're having to take care of or something that just like drives you and motivates you, or if it's seeing a person you don't know on the internet talking about a story that you can relate with. There's just so many different things that you can click with, but it's like it's okay to be down in the dumps for a minute, but it's like when you pull yourself out of those situations, you feel so much better, like so much better.
Now, you went through a really tough time through your kidney failure time with your sister passing too, right?
Yeah, so my sister passed away in 2022 at the beginning of it. And then my dad passed away from complications of dementia that same year in July. And then in that 2022 is when I found out my kidneys were failing. So then all those three things together was just like, holy crap, this is crazy.
That's like the Roadrunner when the coyote when the coyote tries to dump the boulder on his head.
Yeah,
Only,
exactly.
only you got hit
Well,
with the boulder.
yeah, well, and then it's like, and then in early 2023, my mom passed away like
Oh my God.
unexpectedly. So then it was like all these things. And yeah, it's just like,
You're trying everything and the grief
yeah,
had nowhere to go.
yeah, I had nowhere to go, and it just like compounded on each other. Like I when I lost my eyesight, like I just got right back to like doing like everything I could. Well, I'm sure it was like to cope, but I'm a busy type person, and I've always had it.
No.
I've worked
Really?
since I was 13 years old. Like I've always had a job. Like being on disability right now, it's like, I'm excited to get in center training to learn computers with the screen reading and stuff so I can actually, focus on getting back into the workforce again and whatnot. Because after a kidney transplant, it's like I was so careful for the full year afterwards, like trying not to get sick or whatever. And then I realized, like, I can't keep doing that. Like, I can't keep thinking I have to live in a bubble. Like, I'm gonna get sick. Like, things are gonna happen that are out of my control. I can't keep doing that. So pull out of it. And now it's like I'm, doing all these things that I'm not used to doing, like pushing my comfort zone. But going back to like all these things happening, I never got a chance really to grieve my like losing my eyesight. And then, then I get married like that year. So it was like it kind of washed all that away. And I thought, oh yeah, things are gonna be good, whatever. And then then still just working. And then, when I lost my sister, that was like, or then during COVID, actually, that was crazy too, because I learned so many things for myself, like technology wise, that work for me to be able to like help me with my job, like using voiceover on my iPhone. Like I self-taught myself how to do all that. And now,
voiceover is amazing.
yeah, now come to find out, it's like the majority, I think there's so many people in the blind community that even ones I know, they don't utilize it. And it's like, oh my gosh, I try and tell everybody, just use it. Even if you can see like, more than someone else, it's not worth the eye strain to always, there's so many things you can do with voiceover on your phone, whether it's reading documents or reading Facebook post or whatever it is. Like, why strain your eyes and use a zoom function on your phone to see what the words are when there's something built into your phone that will literally tell you everything that you need to know, if everything is accessible, because that's a whole other thing. But a lot of like the most popular things are fairly accessible, at least that you can interact. So
Oh, that's cool. I actually talked to somebody this morning, and the thing she said more than anything else is, if you're losing your vision, even if you don't think you're going to go all the way blind, learn to use your tools before you go blind.
oh yeah, 100%. So
Yeah. And
it's
voiceover was one of the big ones she mentioned. That
yeah,
and JAWS.
and I'm excited to start using JAWS once I get to the in-center training. It's such a wait to get into those places. So
Yeah. Yeah,
but
that's something that, one of the things that eleVIVO is trying to kind of help with is one of those things too, with
yeah,
trying to give people training for during the wait time. Not that it
yeah,
would replace the training that you would get at the center,
yeah,
but that it would at least jumpstart you a little bit so it's easier to learn the stuff at the center and help you in the
yep.
meantime.
Exactly. It's like that's my big focus right now with learning like orientation and mobility. I've been so towards like the end of last year, I don't remember, I think it was like October or November, I had reached out to the local center because I'm in my head like, yeah, I'm gonna, I want to start figuring it out, and started reaching out to them. And then by the time that an instructor was able to finally start coming to my house was the beginning of this year. And she was just teaching me like very basic like white cane travel skills and orientation skills and that kind of stuff. And so she came, I think in total about 8 times, which was awesome because it put me on the right path to start figuring that stuff out for myself. Because I lost my vision 8 years ago and I've never touched a white cane until the beginning of this year. And even the like low amount of training I've had with it, it's already given me so much more confidence to go and like push myself to do like just a few more things. Like for me, I have a lot of doctor's appointments, and it's like one thing that I am excited. I actually just went to my first doctor appointment totally by myself just last week, and
Oh,
it was,
congratulations.
yeah, thanks. It was like seriously such a great feeling, but like I was scared shitless to do it. Like the day
Yep.
of, I wanted to reschedule my appointment. It's like, I'll just wait till maybe I can ask someone to take me or whatever. And then I was like, you know what? No, screw that. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to push that comfort zone. I'm going to push my boundary. Like, and I did. And it was like, I got done and I was like on such a high that was like,
on the moon for
oh my
days, I'm
gosh, it
sure.
was awesome. Yeah. And then, and I wouldn't have done that had I not had someone come to my house and, teach me cane skills. But even after going through that basic training, it's just been driving me more. So I kept reaching out to the local center here to get on the list to go to in-center training to learn all that stuff. And I'm now on that list. And they signed me up for like a summer course to go stay there. Yeah, to go stay there for a week to do it. And they'll do wonderful. Yeah, I'm excited. And they're going to do cane travel and a few other classes like, computer and stuff. And it's just good to get just more of those skills until I can get in center, like you were saying. Like, and then I even applied to the Guide Dogs for the Blind. They run an orientation and mobility immersion program.
Yeah, the lady that just did the interview with me, the last interview that I did.
Yeah.
Leanne Fuller.
Okay.
She just got back from one and
awesome.
Loved it.
She
loved it.
Yeah, I applied for it. And when I first, applied and they emailed me back and were like, yeah, since, you haven't had any kind of training with orientation mobility, like, I don't know that it would work, whatever, blah, blah. Anyway, so then I replied back and I was like, oh no, I've had like basic training, basic orientation mobility skills. It's just on your website, there wasn't a place to put like the kind of training I've had already. So, then I emailed her back and she emailed me back the next morning. She was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you said that and emailed back. Let me go, talk to the powers that be or whatever. And yeah, she ended up calling me and was like, yeah, let's get the application like going. We'll send you the forms you need to fill out and have your doctors fill out. Anyway, so I did all of that and I emailed, or the last thing went through on this last Friday.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And so then I'm expecting like, I get an email on Monday, like, hey, we got all the forms, it's going to take a few weeks for, the review process. And then literally the next day, so this was Tuesday, I was actually making a video talking about, getting out there and just using your cane more and how like, much more independence and stuff you can feel, like whatever. I was making this whole video about it and editing it and all that stuff. And while I was doing all that, I closed it out and I looked and I had a few emails and I was like, oh, who's emailing me? That's weird. And I opened it and it was from the Guide Dogs for the Blind immersion program saying that I was approved and they've already set up like the time frame for me at their campus and stuff. So I was like so stoked. Like I'm still so hyped about it.
Oh,
and
I bet.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's just like all these things lining up like just to like push my like independence and stuff further, where it's like being able to go do that kind of stuff and then not having to rely on always, thinking I need to have somebody with me to go do something I want. Oh my gosh, it's so like it feels so good. Like it just feels awesome. So
Leanne said that, she's got, she's had all, she's had a lot of the training and stuff. She's good at jaws, all that kind of stuff. She's like, I'm like, you're a really cool blind person. She says, no, I'm not a really cool blind person. When I have a dog, I'll be a cool blind person. Like,
yeah.
It's pretty funny. She's like, the coolest blind people have a dog.
It's crazy. Well, I mean, it's not crazy, but there's some people that have no desire in getting a dog, which I mean,
they're not dog people.
Yeah, they're just not dog people, and some people they're just more comfortable with their cane doing whatever. But I love dogs. Like we have pet dogs and stuff. But for me, it's like I'm a fast walker. Like I'm a mover. Like I'm always doing something. Like for me, it's just like one of those things that as soon as I get to that point where I can get one, I'm excited for that chapter too. So
yeah, there's nothing as good as doing stuff with a dog.
Yeah, just having
makes the world go round.
Yeah, no, it's so true. Having a little homie with you all the time,
Oh yeah, I agree entirely.
Yeah.
So let's do a little bit more with work, and then I want to go on to your creator status.
Yeah.
So, for when you were in the workplace, what did it take to function, to do stuff? What did you have to do to get that to work?
Yeah. So I became, so funny enough, So I was actually the inventory manager at a high-end used car lot here near me. And so like my daily tasks were making sure cars were ready, to be posted online, whether it was getting them to service shops, coordinating that with lot techs and stuff at the dealership to get them to go places, whether it needed tint or if it needed alignment or oil changes or just all that kind of stuff. But then also, in addition to that, I was actually the person that would take all the photos and post all of the cars online. And I would price them all. I'd have to look at like what, similar cars are selling for on the market in like a certain area, just like all that kind of stuff. And it took some getting used to, but I still managed to do all of it with mostly tools on my phone. And I had my coworker, he's pretty tech savvy. He's like one of my good friends. He set my computer up for me so I could just like hit, I don't even remember the button combo now, but it would switch my computer into high contrast mode. So everything would go like dark screen, so I could actually see the letters. Like I hold my phone, I had a big like, I don't know, 35-inch TV as a monitor, and I would still use the magnifier on my phone and zoom in as much as I could. And I figured out all those tools on my own. I didn't, I just figured like I'm not going to hold a magnifying glass. I'm like, there has to be something built into my phone. And found the magnifier, and I was like, oh, this might work. And it's crazy because I had to charge my phone probably like 3 times a day because I used it so much. But I would take once figuring out the price of all the cars and that kind of thing and posting them online, I then would take on average of every car, I would take between 50 and 60 pictures of every car. And I'd been doing it for so long, I knew I had it down to a science where I knew where to stand for which angles. And so I was taking all the photos in the same, essentially like how they looked on the website in the same order every time. And it just became a regimen where I could do photos of an entire car in less than 15 minutes. And like I would still get in the car and flip it around on the lot. So like with so the angles would still be the same with the car facing whichever direction it needed to face. Then I'd move it up into the shade and like take the interior photos, all of that stuff. Because like the tiny little vision I had, like seriously, I had my phone like, oh my gosh, probably less than 5 inches away from my face, trying to see it. And like I'd take a photo and zoom in and make sure the angle was one right, and I wasn't like cutting off like the front or the back of the car, like just all that kind of stuff. But then figuring out how to put them on the website and just like all those things. But it just to get obviously better at it. It just took time.
Yeah,
and
where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, exactly. And then, man, it was like I'd get home sometimes because I'm staring at my phone all day. I'd get like a migraine because it's like eye strain is real. It's why I became such like a voiceover proponent, because it's like you already have to strain your eyes so much. Like if you can still see anything, that don't do it for little stuff that your phone can do for you. Use the tool, like you said, use the tool that you have.
Yeah,
But so I
exactly.
was able to do that still. And where I worked at the place for so long, um, I didn't sell cars as much. Like I would still sell occasionally if I had to, but I always made sure to like talk to customers when they came in, just because I'm an outgoing person. And
Oh,
when
really?
yeah,
Say it ain't
exactly. And
so.
so when you go into a car dealership, I mean, let's be honest, nobody likes shopping for cars, really.
No.
It's like you always go in with a wall up and whatever. And if I could be that person that like breaks down that wall a little bit, like they realize, oh, these people are normal. So I was really big on that. And then a lot of times it was funny. Some people had no idea I was as blind as I was. Like if I was helping them from like the beginning when they would come in to going and like wanting to look at cars out on the lot, I'd tell them, be like, okay, look, I'm legally blind. Like I'm blind as crap. So you got to bear with me. It might take me a little longer. And then like, you are? And then you get the quintessential, like, you don't look blind, you know?
Oh, geez.
And it's funny because I think me being in the car business and dealing with people so much, I mean, I get where they're coming from because
Mhm.
my whole life I could see. So when I lost my vision, like people saying that kind of stuff, I probably would have been the same type of person. Like, oh, you don't look it, because people like have this idea of what a blind person should look like or how they should act, because most people don't interact with someone who's blind,
Yeah.
visually impaired, like at all in their life, you know? And like you could tell people that were, you know, not cool about it, like they were just dicks. But then people that were genuinely like, oh, that's awesome. It's
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But I remember when people want to look at multiple cars, I'd walk over to the where they hang all the keys. It's called a lockbox, and I'd, you know, open it up and pull keys out. And they're like, how do you know which key like you're grabbing? And it's like, just I can feel it. I know what Audi key feels like, and I know there's only this kind of Audi over here, and I know that these Audis, like these years of Audis, have this kind of key, so I knew which key to grab.
Mm-hmm.
And then like,
It's like, this is what I do.
yeah, it's like, how do you know that? And it's like,
No.
I mean, I've been a car guy my whole life. I know what keys feel like, and you know, I might grab, you know, multiple keys, but I can figure out which one goes to which
Yeah.
car fairly easy, you know.
Yeah.
But just like
But
all
that's
those
the
little
thing.
things, I just had to figure out like while I was doing it.
Yeah, my two
So,
pet peeves are the if your eyes don't work, your brain doesn't work, which
oh
drives
yeah,
me nuts.
I
That just
I
ticks me off.
I hate the, it's like I made a video actually one time saying like blindness is not ignorance. Like
Hmm.
just because we're
Exactly.
blind, we're not dumb.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you know, there's blind people I know that are way smarter than people I know that can see. Like
Yeah.
it's like you don't
The
have to
other
have
one is your,
eyesight to be
yeah.
dumb. Like there's plenty of people who are fully capable people with no kind of a disability at all, but
Yeah.
they're dumb
Oh,
as
the other one is
rocks.
the people who yell at people who are deaf or blind. It's like,
Oh
no,
my
no, they're
gosh.
not deaf. They're just
Exactly.
fine.
Yeah.
My
For me,
best
a
friend
lot
in
of them were,
Maryland is blind, and he gets that. You know, people
yeah.
yell at him, and it's like I look at him like he's blind. He can't see. I mean, he can't
Yeah.
hear you.
Or it's like when you go to a doctor appointment and whoever you're with, the, you know, nurse or whatever is asking the person you're with. It's like, what? They don't
Oh,
know. It's like, why are you
yeah.
asking them? Like, I'm the person that you're
Yep.
talking to. Just
Yep.
crazy, but
I become demon
whatever.
advocate when that happens. My
Yeah,
little
good.
horns
Yeah.
pop out the top of my head,
Yeah.
and it's not pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny because
it's it,
my blind friend is smarter than I am by a good bit. It's like, oh, don't mess with him. So I'm his little pit bull. He takes the
yeah.
punches.
We all need those.
So you're kind of different than a lot of my blind friends in that you don't really take it, offense at people calling you inspiring. Why is that?
So I I know it's a really big hot take in the blind community. And I get where some people like it might offend them. And I don't know if my perspective might be different because I could see, you know, for the majority of my life, I had,
Hmm.
in fact, I had such good vision growing up that when me and my buddies would go skating around, like wherever we were going, they'd always ask me, be like, yo, JB, what does that sign say up there? And it's like, oh, that's such and such sign.
Hmm.
Like they'd always be the one asking me those questions. And now,
Yeah.
so it's crazy now that I'm the blind guy. But yeah, so I'm big on, it really comes down to intent. Like you can tell someone like how they're talking to you, if their intent is real or not. And if they're saying like, oh, you're such an inspiration, like I think there are just some people that are the type of people that if it wants to make them feel like they're making you feel good, that's great, like on them. You know what I mean? I don't take offense to it because I don't know someone else's story. Like I don't expect people to know like how my life goes being blind. Like I could have people that are with me literally every single day of my life, and they think like, no, I know how you are, like, you know, how to do with your blindness. Like, I mean, you see like what you see from the outside perspective, but you don't know like inside what's going on. And
Yeah.
so I look at it, and my hope is that the people who are saying like, oh my gosh, you're inspiring or whatever, it's like I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. And if they're saying it, if their intent is bad, that is on them. That's their karma to
Yeah,
deal
that's
with.
their fault.
That's whatever. For
Yeah.
me, it's like, hey, great. You know, if I am inspiring somebody, like if they're sighted or not, like I don't like to take that away from someone. It's like if someone is offering to help you with something, like me as a blind, like low vision person, like in the community, if someone's offering to help me with something, yeah, take the help because don't take away someone's, you know, want to help you because that's like what might fill their bucket. You
Mm-hmm.
know, me, like what fills my bucket is like encouraging people to do stuff and seeing like a change in how their personality is or whatever like that, like making like helping people out, taking stress off of someone, that like fills my happy bucket. And so if someone doing that, like offering help or doing something for someone who can't do it for themselves, fills their bucket, why should I take that away from them, you know?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, it's like because and I get it. Like, there's people that I've known my entire life, and they'll tell me like whether it's, you know, a comment on a post I made or you know, telling me in person like, "Oh man, you're so inspiring," and it's like I really don't take offense to it because especially if you're talking to someone in real life and they're telling you that, you can tell when they're being an asshole. You just can. And it's like
Yeah.
it's all about the intent of it. But like I was saying, if their intent is bad and they're like masking that, I mean, that's their karma they get to deal with, not mine.
Yep.
So
Yep. Not
but
your circus, not your monkeys.
yeah, exactly. Yep.
I completely get that. Now, one
Yeah.
of the other cool things that you we were talking about when I talked to you the other day was the whole idea of don't live in the shadows.
Yeah.
Get out there. So, what do you mean by that?
Just like go get out and do your thing. Like make whatever like makes you happy, whatever like little thing that is. Even if like you're the type of person that like you're scared to go out and, you know, check your mail or whatever, like if you're not comfortable going and doing that, just take it one step at a time. Like I'm a big believer that if you push yourself just enough, you'll realize things aren't so scary, and um the reward will be so much better than, you know, thinking how scary it will be. So just do it. And then if you're like stuck in your head about something that's you know, like going through a hard time or whatever, like there's always some kind of silver lining that you might not see like in the moment. There just is. Like you could be like some major shit could be happening to you, but there's always going to be something that by that happening is going to like create you to be like that better of a person because of what's happening to you. Like one of the things I like to say, and it's such like a like a I don't know, cringy like cliche type thing to say is like all photos start as a negative. Like you can't have this beautiful amazing photograph that didn't start as a negative first. Like negatives are just,
I like that.
yeah, they're just boring. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's what you create out of it. Like you don't know what it'll look like until it happens and comes to fruition. Or like the
Yeah.
butterfly. A butterfly starts as a caterpillar. It's like
Yeah.
there's so many little things, but there's so much truth in it. Like you can be I mean, like I said, I've gone through so many like hard things in the last, especially 4 years of my life, like back to back to back to back. And it's like you can pull yourself out of it. You just have to realize in the moment, like, okay, this is a crappy thing that's happening, but what good thing is happening in my life? And if you're focusing on
Mhm.
the good things, it's a lot easier to overcome the bad things, you know?
I get it.
Yeah.
I definitely get it. So when you started creating and started doing your social media stuff, what does that mean to you and how does that help you?
Yeah. So I actually started doing videos a lot during like COVID.
Hmm.
Just like everyone, I think, was when a lot of people started creating videos, if they're into that.
Hmm.
Um but lately for me, like really this year, I would say actually last year I started posting a little more, but then
Hmm.
this year I just decided like, man, it like genuinely makes me happy to just talk about it. Cause
Hmm.
for me, it's like I'm not necessarily like having a conversation with someone. It's just like it's essentially like talking to a therapist, I guess. You can
Mhm.
like liken it to that, where you're talking to a phone, you're recording it, you're putting it out there for other people to see. And some people it might click with them, other people it might not. But for me, a lot of the reason I do it is um it takes my mind off of a lot of other, shit going on in my life. And it's like one thing I can control and I can do. And if the possibility is there of even helping one person realize
Mhm.
like whatever you're going through, like you can make yourself happy to some degree by doing something you enjoy, whether it's, going outside and just sitting on the lawn, like listening to the
Mhm.
wind or the birds or
Mhm.
whatever sounds, or cars driving by, 2 miles away on the freeway, or, whatever that is. But for me, yeah, it's just, I've really enjoyed it because I'm just telling about things that have happened to me. A lot of my stuff obviously is blindness related. And it's like some of the stuff is funny. Like I did a video the other day talking about how I my daughter's dog was playing with a toy that I didn't recognize the sound of it because as someone who's blind, you don't necessarily know what every toy is, but you hear it, you're like, what the hell is that? And
Mhm.
so I pick it up and it ended up being a fake beehive. And I
Oh.
yeah, me as a blind dude, I'm like looking at it and I'm squinting, like, what the hell is this? And I'm feeling it. And then instantly in my head, I flash back to when I could see of those big beehives, like wasps' nests or
Mhm.
whatever that hang in trees. And I'm thinking I'm holding one of those in my hand. And I thought I was
Yelp.
going to have a gripper. And I was like, holy, and I threw it up in the air and I was like, ah, like had the heebie jeebies. And I was like, wait, there's no way that was a real beehive. So then I went and found it again, picked it up. And it's just like, so I made a video about it because I'm like, after the
Mhm.
fact, just laughing hysterically about it. And it's just like doing a video like that takes, I don't know,
Mhm.
not very long to do. And
Yeah.
if
And it's
people,
funny.
yeah, it's funny. It's one of those things that like someone in the blind community can probably relate, and
Mhm.
it's like just telling like little things like that, or, just like encouraging people to get out and go do your thing.
Mhm.
Like for me lately, a lot of it has been like getting cane training to be able to go be more independent. And it's like, it is such a rewarding feeling to be able to go do that stuff for
Mhm.
myself. And it's, if even if you're not to that part of your blind journey yet and you're not ready for it, or
Mhm.
I've been blind for 8 years and I'm just
Mhm.
starting to do that
Yeah.
process. So someone
But it's
who's
never too
lost,
late.
yeah, and it's like it's never too late to start. It's just a matter of actually starting. So even if creating content isn't your thing, go do whatever it is
Why
your
not?
thing to help release those
Mhm.
emotions, or find someone that can relate with you. Like I said, a big thing for me lately is community. Finding people in the blind community that I can relate with has been like, once I started creating videos and like, meeting more people because of making videos, where people are starting to like send me messages and like,
Mhm.
hey, like blah blah blah, my situation is very similar. I lost my vision at 30 something years old to diabetic retinopathy. And it's like, I was also into this, and like, you're into that. And it's like, you just never know. And like, a
Mhm.
lot of the reason I still like love doing content like that is relating with people that I would
Mhm.
never have had the opportunity to
Yeah.
meet. And it's like, now some of these people I consider like really good friends. So,
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, you and I are mirror images. One can see and one can't. I'm a lot like that too. And
yeah.
it's amazing just when you talk to people,
Oh,
just
yeah.
how interesting they are
I,
and how cool they are.
yeah, I
I mean,
love talking to people. I
I've
can,
loved doing this series just
I
because I get to talk to so many cool people.
Oh, I bet. Like, it was one thing I actually loved about working at a car dealership too, because you meet all kinds of people. You meet people who pay cash for, a $75,000 car,
Mm-hmm.
but then you meet people who, need to take a loan out on a $5,000 car and they have a low credit rating or whatever. And it's like people from all walks of life, people, that are total, dickheads or whatever, but
Hmm.
so awesome in other regards. And it's like, if when you can like meet and talk to people, um, there's always something you can like be relatable on to some degree, in my opinion. So
Definitely. Definitely. Now I have to ask you my favorite question.
yeah.
What makes your heart sing?
My heart sing?
Yeah.
Oh,
If you had to pick
honest,
something, what would it be?
I love seeing people happy. Like if I had something to contribute to like someone's happiness, oh my gosh, I love that so much.
Mhm. Yeah, it
It's
almost
just
does more for you than it does for them.
oh, 100%. Like I'll like if I can take stress off of someone and help in some way and it like makes them happy that they didn't have to deal with some and it's like no skin off my back. Oh my gosh, that's like the greatest feeling in the world. Or even if it's like I don't know, cooking like a simple dinner or you know something, and someone's like genuinely stoked about it, and it makes them like happy that they didn't have to do it. It's like
Hmm.
it costs nothing to be kind, and that kindness can make someone's day like completely turn around because it goes back to like what I was saying earlier is you never know like someone's shoes or like what it is they're dealing with. Like it's you never know. So if
Nope, you
if
don't.
if someone's having a rough day or whatever and it you just happen to be the person they come unglued on, it's like
Hmm.
that's their bag. Don't take like their bag and make it affect you in a negative way because they might just be going through some shit that like you just happen to be the person they take it out on. Is it cool they did that? No, but it's also like for them to have to deal with those feelings, not
Yeah,
you.
not your,
So
yeah, not your circus, not your monkeys.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So
Should
what
get
would
that
you
tattoo.
exactly? So what would you say to someone who's newly blind right now, if you could give them a piece of advice?
um, go find your community. Like
Mhm.
and also but the biggest thing is it's like losing your sight does not change who you are as a person. It changes how you might have to do things. Like there's obvious things that you're not going to be able to do anymore. You can't go drive a car anymore,
Mhm.
but you can ride passenger in a car. You can still
Mhm.
change the radio station. You can still enjoy the company of a person in a car, but you just can't do the driving. You just are, it looks different.
Oh,
Like,
funny story. Actually, you can.
well,
Clint Aiken was one of my earlier interviews. I interviewed him in like February.
oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
he is funny. Go back and watch his video if you haven't.
I've
Anyway,
watched it. He's
yeah,
he's hilarious. Yeah,
his
he's
mom was
awesome.
blind, and he would like sit in the passenger seat of the car when she was a kid. Okay,
Yeah.
now slow down a little. Now speed up a little. Now wave at the nice police officer.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
re-
it's like, oh my God.
I remember that story actually. Yeah, I was
Oh my
laughing when I was listening to that. So
Oh,
funny.
Clint's a hoot. I was like, oh my God, I could see this happening.
Yeah.
And I could see myself being the kid too, telling, the parent,
Yeah.
wave at the nice police officer.
Yeah. Live it up, you know?
Like, oh my God.
Yeah,
So anyway.
but losing your eyesight it just changes like what you're going to have to do and how you do things.
Hmm.
And like always remember to like advocate for yourself. But the
Hmm.
biggest thing is like it's a lot of people like when you ask people what's the scariest thing that could happen to you or whatever, most people would rather get like cancer or some
Hmm.
other disease rather than lose their
Yeah.
eyesight. Like I remember one day when I was working, this he wasn't a customer, he worked for another business that would come into our business and like do stuff. And he was diabetic. And I was just telling him, like, oh yeah, I lost my vision, because of diabetes. And he's talking to me, he's like, oh man, he's like, kudos to you. He's like, I think if I got to that point and lost my vision, I'd just off myself. I'm
Hmm.
just
I
like,
hear that all the
I
time.
know, and I'm like, bro, it's like I'm like I am proof in the pudding right now. You're sitting here having a conversation with me, and I'm still working, doing my thing, like talking to you, and it's like it's not that bad. Like I understand, like it is a big pill to swallow, and I totally get that not everybody is in the same kind of headspace. But it's like it's just
Hmm.
like having those kind of thoughts is like it's like a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Like
Hmm.
it like will like your life be harder? Yeah, there will definitely be things that are harder, but you can figure it out. Like you
Yeah.
said, there's people that are like have done incredibly great things for themselves. And in fact, I saw like one of the vice presidents of, I think it was UPS. He's totally blind, and it's like that is a giant company, and a person who's totally blind to that capacity at a giant corporation like that doing that. And then there's people who are blind who are mechanics. There's, like there are things you can do. It's just a matter of what you're willing to push yourself to do. And it's just going to look very different. But at the end of the day, the reward you're going to get from pushing yourself to do those things that you're not comfortable doing are going to be so incredible. Like you'll feel so good about yourself.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been so much fun talking to you, JB. You have been a blast. And this has been my first time trying to do an interview in this format, and I have had the best time ever.
Same.
So thank you so much. And for people out there, if you're losing your vision and you need help, please look up eleVIVO. And if you need help, you can always message me also personally, and I'm willing to help. Have the best day ever, and see you on the flip side.
Thanks for tuning into our series, Thriving with Vision Loss. If you would like to learn more about thriving with blindness or low vision, check out eleVIVO.com. If you have questions or would like to be featured in an upcoming episode of our Thriving with Vision Loss series, email Michelle B at eleVIVO.com. Links are in the description. The white letters on the black background fade as Circles by Classless Act plays.